Welcome back to the Takeout. You've heard President Trump say this. Democrats, they stick together like glue. They never argue with each other. Not yesterday on the Senate floor. Rare moment of kind of a public spat. Senator Cory Booker in New Jersey doing so with Amy Klobuchar, Minnesota, Catherine Cortez Masto, Nevada, over bipartisan legislation meant to support law enforcement and their families. Listen.
For us as a body to move forward right now is being complicit in what Donald Trump is doing. I say no.
I will note that Senator Booker objected to my police reauthorization bill, the cops funding, the Clinton cops funding, long before Donald Trump came into office.
This is why this is ridiculous. This is an attempt to kill all of these bills. I don't know why. I don't know why.
So we have a family table here at the Takeout. And the family table a little bit more disrupted in the Democratic cloakroom after yesterday. So to introduce our guests at the family table, Megan Scully, who runs Bloomberg News, Capital Influence team, and White House reporter for Semafor, Shelby Talcott. So it's not just Democrats who are arguing with each other in full public view. Today, at a committee hearing, there were Republicans doing the same. It's late in July, almost August. It's hot, it's humid, everyone's angry. It's kind of coming to the surface. So I will do a mini dramatic reading of what happened. You see on the screen, Josh Hawley, Republican from Missouri, talking about legislation to ban stock trading. And he's responding to a question from James Langford, Oklahoma Republican. I don't have a blind trust. I practice what I preach. I don't have individual stocks. I don't trade in stocks. I'm not a billionaire, unlike others on this committee, to which Rick Scott on the committee, Republican from Florida, very wealthy. He made a reference to billionaires, he says, referring to Hawley. Okay, I don't know when in this country it became negative to make money. He goes on to say, the idea that we're going to attack people because they make money is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I think it's disgusting. And then to add to the intrigue, the party strife among Republicans, this afternoon, President Trump says, I wonder why Hawley, meaning Josh Hawley, would try to pass a bill that Nancy Pelosi is absolutely in love with. I don't think real Republicans want to see their president, who has an unprecedented success, targeted because of the whims of a second-tier senator named Josh Hawley. Wow. Where should we imagine this heading, or how to unpack all this?
We can blame it on the D.C. heat, certainly. I understand that. But I think it's notable, Donald Trump's reaction, because just earlier this week, he said that
just yesterday he was asked about this.
Yes,
he said he was okay
and
with it.
He said that he was okay with it conceptually. And so I don't know.
Meaning a stock trading ban.
Yes. And so I don't know whether the president looked at this and saw that Josh Hawley had voted with Democrats and just sort of said, okay, Democrats support this. It's got to be bad for me. I also don't know whether, one thing that Josh Hawley made clear is that this would affect the next president and vice president. And so it's not going to actually affect President Donald Trump. And so based on his Truth Social post, it seems like he thinks that this is a direct attack against him.
And Megan, the reason we're paying attention to the Senate Democrats arguing over police funding and the like, and the direction of the party and how much to be resistant is, one's an old issue. How much do you support law enforcement? Yes or no? How does that fall on the political spectrum? And what to do in terms of the resistance mindset against the Trump White House.
Yes. So Booker, who actually supported these bills in committee and then went on the floor and railed against them.
To denounce them, yes. Always aggravating to fellow Democrats.
And he did so because he said the Trump administration, the Department of Justice, had been clawing back funds from New Jersey law enforcement. And he called Democrats complicit in Trump's administration. He said that they need to take a stand, and he saw this as an opportunity, this package of bills that had passed the committee with unanimous support.
Right. And that still is unresolved, but it indicates something that's filtering through the New York mayoral election. Minneapolis, challenges to other sitting House Democrats from young progressives. What does the party do? How does it land? What is its larger orientation and messaging?
Yeah, Yeah, this has been like a real fight for the Democratic Party, specifically on the issue of police funding for years. And we saw how it was sort of used during the presidential election to Republicans' benefit. And we've also seen how a lot of Democrats are now shifting their stance, not just on police funding, but on a whole host of other sort of social issues. But at the same time, I think what this particular fight indicates is that the Democratic Party still doesn't have a clear, concise agreement over A, what to do with some of these issues, and also B, how to push back effectively against the Trump administration.
And Megan, big news out of California today. Kamala Harris not running for governor.
And now the field is wide open for Democrats, and we're already seeing people like Katie Porter throw their hat into the ring. And the question there is, of course, a generational one, as we're seeing play out in so many other races now. Who is going to be the leader of the Democratic Party in the nation's largest state? And also, what happens now with Harris? She says she's going to campaign around the country, going into the midterms, try to build this consensus.
Be a voice.
Be a voice. And
Force multiplier.
She even suggested fighting back against the Trump administration. So I'm curious to see whether she takes sort of a harder line stance a la Cory Booker, as opposed to other people who may be in the 2028 race, like Amy Klobuchar, who fought Cory Booker on the floor.
And Shelby, it was an important moment in the Senate yesterday when Emile Bove was confirmed to an appeals court judgeship for life. All sorts of things around his background disclosed by whistleblowers raised legitimate questions on a bipartisan basis about his fitness. The Senate did it anyway, suggesting yet again, if not underscoring, that when President Trump demands, Senate Republicans, House Republicans find the votes to do what he wants.
Right. I mean, this is probably the most contentious judicial nominee that Donald Trump has put forward. And the fact that Republicans went ahead, despite all of these concerns, and voted for him really shows what a hold Donald Trump still has over the Republican Party, whether it be the sort of MAGA influencers outside or whether it be lawmakers in Congress. They're really getting in line. Even you've seen this with the big, beautiful bill. You've seen this with a whole host of other issues. They will raise their concerns, but at the end of the day, things are getting passed because they believe that Donald Trump, they say Donald Trump won the election. We're going to do what he wants.
Megan, your thoughts on Emile Bove and where we sort of find ourselves as Senate Republicans basically prepared to leave for the summer recess?
Absolutely. Well, I think I'd like to go back just a bit to the Hawley bill.
Right.
And I think some of the background here and Trump's, in particular, Trump's reaction to it after previously supporting it is frustrations with Josh Hawley, who fought him on the big, beautiful bill, particularly the
got in line eventually, yes.
He did get in line eventually, but he's been grumbling on the sidelines, saying he's going to try to reverse some of these Medicaid cuts, particularly the ones that could force rural hospitals to close. So I think we're going to see more and more agitation along those lines as we come back from the August recess.
It's going to be an agitated September, to be sure. Megan, Scully, and Shelby Talcott, as always, thanks for joining me at the Family